Hello everyone. RNA, which is synthesized at the end of the transcription process, is not a functional and it undergoes several modifications to become active. These modifications are termed as a post-transcriptional modifications. In today's video, we will discuss post-transcriptional modification in detail along with the various multiple choice questions asked from this particular topic in various entrance examinations. The RNAs formed during transcription are called as a primary transcript. And the primary transcript normally undergo further enzymatic alteration which are called as a post-transcriptional processing. This processing is required to convert primary RNAs or primary transcript into functional or active forms. And the processing may involve either cleavage of larger precursor of RNA to smaller molecule, splicing, terminal addition of nucleotide, or nucleoside modifications. So these are the various processing done after the transcription process. This is the picture showing the post-transcriptional modifications done in the hnRNA. There are end modifications in the form of 5' capping and poly A tailing. Then splicing is also done. In the splicing, introns are removed. Cutting is also done and certain chemical modifications are also done. In the chemical modifications, new chemical groups are added. So this is the picture showing the post-transcriptional modifications of hnRNA. So first we will see the messenger RNA processing. In the prokaryotes, messenger RNA is not post-transcriptionally processed. Prokaryotic messenger RNA is functional immediately upon synthesis. They don't undergo any post-transcriptional modifications. While eukaryotes, the primary transcript of messenger RNA is called as hnRNA or heterogeneous nuclear RNA. And after transcription, this hnRNA is extensively modified to form a functional messenger RNA. This is the picture showing the functional messenger RNA after the addition of 5' capping and the poly A tailing at the 3' end. First, we will see the 7-methyl guanosine capping at the 5' end. This capping is occur in the two steps. In the first step, guanosine triphosphate is attached to the 5' end of hnRNA by an enzyme which is called as a guanyl transferase, and it is attached by an unusual linkage, that is 5' triphosphate linkage. It occurs inside the nucleus, and the second step is methylation of guanosine triphosphate. In the methylation of guanosine triphosphate, methylation is done by guanine 7-methyl transferase, and the S-adenosyl methionine is the methyl donor, and it is occurring inside the cytosol. So this is the 5' capping, and this 5' capping is essential for the stabilization of messenger RNA, as well as it protects the messenger RNA from the attack of 5' to 3' exonuclease enzyme, as well as it is important for the initiation of translation process. Second modification is addition of poly A tail at the 3' end. 3' end of the most eukaryotic messenger RNA possesses a chain of 200 to 300 adenine nucleotides which are called as a poly A tail. And this poly A tail is not transcribed by DNA but rather it is added after transcription. This is the picture showing the synthesis of poly A tail in the primary transcript hnRNA. The eukaryotic primary transcript are cleaved by specific endonuclease enzyme that recognizes the sequence AAU-AAA, and the cleavage doesn't occur if the sequence or a segment of some 20 nucleotide on its 3' end is deleted. This cleavage generates the free 3' hydroxyl group to which immediately polyadenylate polymerase enzyme will add around 200 to 300 adenylate residues to the 3' end of the primary transcript. And the ATP is the donor of adenylate residues. So this is how synthesis of poly A tail occur in the primary transcript hnRNA. And this 3' tailing is important for the stabilization of messenger RNA, as well as it protects the messenger RNA from the attack of 3' to 5' exonuclease enzyme, and it also help 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 messenger RNA for the exit from the nucleus. Third modification is removal of introns. Introns are the nucleotide sequences on mRNA that do not code for any proteins. They are just intervening sequences. And the exons are the coding sequences that code for the proteins. The process by which introns are excised and exons are linked to form a functional messenger RNA is called as a splicing. Splicing is the mechanism by which introns are excised and the exons are linked to form a functional messenger RNA. The removal of introns is promoted by small nuclear ribonucleoprotein particles, which are pronounced as a SNPs, and they are formed by the association of small nuclear RNA with protein. The nucleus contains many types of small RNA molecules, which are referred as a small nuclear RNA, and the five of them designated as U1, U2, U4, U5, and U6. They are essential for the splicing of messenger RNA precursors. And the spliceosome is the term which is used to represent small nuclear ribonucleoprotein particles association with hnRNA at the exon-intron junction. So the spliceosome is the term which is used to represent snRNP association with hnRNA at exon-intron junction. And the post-transcriptional modifications of mRNA occur in the nucleus. The mature RNA then enters the cytosol to perform its function, that is translation, that is protein synthesis. This is the picture showing the spliceosome excising the intron. Exon are the coding sequences, intron are the non-coding sequences or intervening sequences. snRNP molecules in association with the small nuclear RNAs and protein, they will form a spliceosome. This spliceosome will help in the excision of introns by forming one spatial structure that is called as a Lariat structure. So after this Lariat structure is synthesized, introns will be excised and the exons will be linked together to form a functional messenger RNA. Now, human primary transcript, that is hnRNA, with multiple exons is sometimes spliced in alternate ways to produce different messenger RNA with different proteins, and this mechanism is called as a alternative splicing. So the human primary transcript with multiple exons undergo splicing in alternate ways to produce different messenger RNA with different proteins, and this mechanism is called as a alternative splicing. This is the picture showing the alternative splicing of the gene which codes for the calcitonin as well as for the calcitonin gene related peptide. So after alternative splicing, mature messenger RNA, which includes E4 exons, they will produce calcitonin after the translation process, and this calcitonin plays important role in the regulation of calcium as well as phosphorus metabolism in the thyroid cells. While this gene, after undergoing alternative splicing in the brain, it will produce calcitonin gene-related peptide which act as a vasodilator, which includes E5 exon. So this is the picture showing the alternative splicing and its significance. Now this alternative splicing must be very accurate and very sensitive because one nucleotide slippage in a splice point would shift the reading frame on the 3' side of the splice to give an entirely different amino acid sequence. And the 15% of all the genetic diseases due to mutations are due to the splicing defect. This is the picture showing the human diseases due to defect in alternative splicing. So disorders are acute intermittent porphyria, breast and ovarian cancer, cystic fibrosis, hemophilia A, Lesch-Nyhan syndrome, which occurs due to the deficiency of HGPRTase, severe combined immunodeficiency, which occurs due to the deficiency of ADA, that is adenosine deaminase. So this is the table showing the human diseases due to defect in alternative splicing. Now we will see the transfer RNA processing. So the transfer RNA processing involves cleavage of 5' ladder sequence, splicing to remove introns, replacement of 3' terminal UU by CCA, and the modification of several bases which involves uridylate is modified after transcription to form a ribothymidylate and pseudo-uridylate. So this is the picture showing the pre-tRNA molecule and this is the mature tRNA molecule. So the first modification, as we have seen, removal of the 5' ladder sequence by one special enzyme which is called as a endonuclease RNase P enzyme. This enzyme contains both protein as well as RNA. Therefore, RNase P is the example of catalytic RNA. Second modification is the removal of UU sequence at the 3' end by exonuclease enzyme from the primary transcript, and then CCA is added at the 3' end, and this is done by one enzyme which is called as a tRNA nucleotidyl transferase. So this CCA sequence will be added by tRNA nucleotidyl transferase enzyme. After the modification at the 3' and 5' end, some introns are also present in the pre-tRNA molecule. So these introns are removed by the splicing. In addition to that, eukaryotic tRNAs are also heavily modified on the base sequences as well as on the ribose moietase by methylation, deamination, or reduction. So this is the picture showing the tRNA processing. Now we will see the rRNA processing. So rRNA precursors are called as a pre-ribosomal RNAs that are cleaved and trimmed to produce the mature functional rRNAs. Eukaryotic ribosomal RNA processing is very similar to that of prokaryotic. RNA polymerase 1 transcription produces the single precursor that encodes for the three RNA components of the ribosome, that is 18 Swedberg ribosomal RNA, 28 Swedberg ribosomal RNA, and the 5.8 Swedberg ribosomal RNA. While the RNA polymerase 3 will produce the large ribosomal subunit 5 Swedberg ribosomal RNA. This is the picture showing the ribosomal RNA processing. So the 18 Swedberg ribosomal RNA is the RNA component of the small ribosomal subunit, that is 40 Swedberg, and the 28 Swedberg and the 5.8 Swedberg ribosomal RNAs are the two RNA components of the large ribosomal subunit, that is 60 Swedberg ribosomal subunit, while the other RNA component of the last ribosomal subunit, that is 5 Swedberg ribosomal RNA, is transcribed by RNA polymerase T as a separate transcript. So the cleavage of the precursor into T separate ribosomal RNA is the final step in its processing. So before cleaving this single precursor into the three ribosomal RNAs, there will be the certain modification occur that involves addition of the methyl group and pseudouridine. So once these modifications are done, this single precursor will be cleaved into three separate ribosomal RNAs, that is 18 Swedberg ribosomal RNA, 5.8 Swedberg ribosomal RNA, and 28 Swedberg ribosomal RNA. And then this 5.8 Swedberg ribosomal RNA and 28 Swedberg ribosomal RNA will be associated into the single subunit, that is 60 Swedberg ribosomal RNA. And this 18 Swedberg ribosomal RNA will be associated with the smaller subunit, that is 40 Swedberg ribosomal RNA, and they will be transported to the cytoplasm, and over here they will take part in the translation process. Now we will discuss some another mechanism that is called as a RNA editing. So change in the base sequence of the RNA after transcription by process other than RNA splicing is called as a RNA editing. The RNA editing involves the enzyme-mediated alteration of the base sequence of the RNA in the cell nucleus before the translation process. The process may involve the insertion, deletion, or substitution of nucleotide in the RNA molecule. And the substitution of one nucleotide of another has been observed in the humans and can result in the tissue-specific differences in the transcript. So let's understand the RNA editing by taking one. So we are taking the example of ApoB gene. So the larger apolipoprotein B100 is synthesized in the liver, while the smaller form, that is ApoB48, it is synthesized by the small intestine. The gene for the apolipoprotein B, it encodes 14.1 kilo base pair mRNA transcribed in the liver, which is translated into the protein called as a ApoB100, which contain 4,536 amino acid residues. While in the small intestine, the small same gene which encodes mRNA of the half size, that is 7 kilo base pair, which is translated into a protein which is called as a ApoB48 with 2152 amino acid residues. So this happens because in the small intestine, cytidine residues of mRNA is deaminated to uridine. In the mRNA in the intestine, cytidine residues are deaminated to uridine, which changes the codon at residue 2153 from CAA glutamine to UAA stop codon. So this is the mechanism of RNA editing. We have understand the RNA editing mechanism by taking the example of RNA editing of ApoB gene. Now we will see the multiple choice question. The first question was asked in a PGI November 2012. Post-transcriptional modification includes, and the options are: all RNA undergo post-transcriptional modification. Capping of pre-messenger RNA involves the addition of 7-methyl guanosine to the 5' end. Poly-A tail occur at the 3' end. Intron excision by spliceosome and primarily occurs in the cytoplasm. So A, B, C, D all are correct. E is not a correct answer. So the correct answer is A, B, C, and D. Second question, again it is asked in a PGI May 2012. Non-coding RNAs are, and the option are siRNA, miRNA, tRNA, messenger RNA, and ribosomal RNA. So all are the non-coding RNA except the mRNA. mRNA is the coding RNA. So the answer is A, B, C, and E. Third question is, what is the most likely the effect of two base pair insertion in the middle of the intron? And the options are normal transcription, altered translation, defective termination of transcription and normal translation, normal transcription and defective mRNA splicing, and the D is normal transcription and normal translation. So the answer is specifically related to the intron, and intron are the non-coding sequences or intervening sequences. The correct answer is normal transcription and normal translation. Another question has been asked in SGPGI 2005 and CMC 2003. Cytoplasmic process during processing is A. 5' capping, poly-A tailing, methylation of tRNA, and attachment of CCA in the tRNA. The cytoplasmic process is attachment of CCA in tRNA, while other things are occurring in the nucleus. Another question is, all are the processing reaction in the transfer RNA except CCA tailing, methylation of bases, poly-A tailing, and the trimming of 5' end. So as we have already seen that CCA tailing, methylation of bases, and trimming of 5' end occur in the tRNA. Poly-A tailing is occurring in the hnRNA or in the messenger RNA. So the correct answer is C. This question was asked in All India 2004. Segment of eukaryotic gene that is not represent in the mature mRNA is known as a intron, exon, plasmid, and data box. So the correct answer is intron. Last question, which was asked in AIMS May 2011. ApoB48 and ApoB100 is synthesized from the messenger RNA, and the difference between them is due to. And the options are RNA splicing, allelic exclusion, deamination of cytidine to uridine, and upstream repression. So we have seen in the RNA editing, ApoB48 and ApoB100, which is synthesized from the messenger RNA, and the difference is due to the deamination of cytidine to uridine, which produces the stop codon from glutamine. So the correct answer is C. These are my references. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe Biochemistry Basics by Dr. Amit, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you can get all the notifications from it. Thank you.